How's it going, everybody? Thanks for taking a couple minutes to check out my channel. If you enjoy this video, if you get some useful tips out of it, if you could take a second to like it, share it, comment it, subscribe it, whatever, I will appreciate it. It really helps out my channel a lot. But in my last video, I think it was my last video anyways, I did a video building headers. And if you want to see that video, I'll put a link to that right up here. But I am in the process of building a few other things for the house that my wife and I plan on building next year. I'm doing some outside corners for 2x6 walls, corners for 2x4 walls right here. I'll explain some of these in a second. And I'm also doing some wall tees for some 2x4 interior walls and 2x6 interior walls. Let's look at the 2x6 outside corner first. Basically, this is just, most of this stuff I pick up from my brother and asking him questions. He's been building stuff probably since before I was born. But it's basically two 2x6s nailed together. This would be an actual stud, but this would be the one coming parallel with your bottom plate. Let's say this was the bottom plate nailed on here. This would be the actual stud, and this would help with the inside corner. Drop that plate down. This would be the next wall coming into this, forming the inside corner or an outside corner on the outside, whichever way you look at it. One thing I'm going to show here, I did a slight exaggeration. I just tacked this together like if this was the end stud and this was the bottom plate. I left this end stud in a little bit, and like I said, I exaggerated a little bit. What you don't want to do is have this end stud out beyond this plate. You're better off having it in a little bit so these plates come and match up. That's a crucial part of framing when you're having your plates come together nice and tight. So if that end stud is in just a whisker, those plates go together very nice. So once this is lined up on the outside here, this can get nailed up all along here, the whole way up along there. But then that leaves nice nailing on each side of the inside corner. And then this would be like an inside cavity here that would be really easy to insulate and run wires through then. So that would be how the corner works there. For the 2x4 corner, it's basically two full-length pre-cut studs. These are 92 and 5/8 pre-cuts here. Basically it's two, and then with three blockers in the middle, chunks of 2x4. They don't have to be any specific length. We just throw like whatever. There's always little scraps laying around. And then when this board would come along here, you would have the same plate situation going on as with the 2x6 wall. This would get nailed on nice and flush on the outside here. And then it would leave you a nice inside corner here to nail drywall or whatever your finishing product would be on the inside. Leave you the two corners into here. Let's see. Let's check out the wall tees right here. And I talked to my brother about building these things, and he suggested I stick with 2x6 interior walls on some locations, and I'll explain why in a minute. This would be like the 2x4 wall coming in and meeting perpendicular with this. There would be a bottom plate here. I can have a few chunks here. There'd be a bottom plate there. Then the next plate running here. A plate meeting up here, bottom plate, and then your end stud here again. Again, you could have that a whisker in on this bottom plate, nailed into here, just a little bit in. I should have nailed one together for you here, but just a slight bit in right there, so that the plates come together good, and then all my stuff falls over. Then that would all join up, and then we'd have inside nailing, inside corner nailing going both directions here and both directions here. This would be where a wall meets perpendicular into like an outside wall or an interior wall. Okay, now some of my interior walls are going to be framed 2x6. And there's a reason for that, is because I'm going to have as many pocket doors as possible. Same thing would be here. This would be like your end stud coming into here. It would run into this, and then you would have nailing 3 blocks up along there. What that's going to let me do for my pocket doors with a 2x6 interior wall is I can take and I put 2 flat studs on the outside here, and that leaves plenty of room for a pocket door to slide inside of the wall. If you buy a pocket door kit, they come with like 3/4 inch little pre-made studs. And the only problem with those is they're pretty flimsy, and then you can't, it's hard to putting your sheetrock on and everything. It's just a flimsy product. This is going to be a lot more stable, and my brother suggested just sticking with this. I actually have an example of that I can show you. I did a little remodel thing here in my house one time. This used to be, turn a little bit of light on here. This used to be just a regular door, swinging door, but now it's a pocket door. Slides into the wall. I chopped this all out. But this was a 2x6 exterior wall. So I was able to put a 2x4 flat here and along here. I'm able to hang pictures and stuff here now. And I could also get a flat electrical box and put in there as well, a shallow electrical box. Sometimes with remodel stuff though, you got to do what you got to do. But with new construction, if you're doing it yourself, I'd recommend doing a 2x6 wall if you're doing pocket doors. Or if you're getting somebody else to do it, I would ask them to do 2x6 walls to put the pocket doors into. A lot sturdier in the end. So I'm going to show you putting one of these together. A lot of the process is sort of the same, whether you're doing one of these with the 2x6 blocking, with the 2x4 blocking, or even with the 2x4 flat for the interior corners. I think I'm going to make another one of these corners. If you look closely, these end blocks are in just a whisker. Here, 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 and here. I am more concerned with my end product being nice and square with these two end studs right here than whether this comes down flush. If you try to make these all flush and just exaggerating, if this 2x6 here was a little bit out of square and you would have this down just a little bit too far and it was out of square this way, you can throw that thing way out of square. So what I do is I always start just a little bit back on the first block on each end, and then I use a framing square everything up in the end. Another thing I'm going to show you is how to take care of some crooked lumber sometimes. If you look at these two boards, these two 2x4s, they're not super bad, but they both have a bow. One's bowing out this way, and this one's bowing in that direction right here. I got both the ends together, and there's probably 3/4 of an inch. So they both bow about 3/8 in each direction. What I'm going to do is nail them on in opposite directions, and hopefully they'll straighten each other out. So let's get this going. So I'm going to start my first one, probably about a 32nd in from the end here. I'm going to angle my nail pretty good. These are 3 1/4 inch nails. Let's see how she turned out. I don't know if you can see, but it's pretty darn straight right now. If it's not showing up in the video, my apologies, but it straightened it out pretty good. Alright, hope you enjoyed this video. If you got any useful tips or you enjoyed it, please take a second, give me a thumbs up or a quick comment. Have a great day, everybody.